Well, Julia Gillard has had a conversation with Premier Wen at the meeting in Bali, and she gave this interview with Asia Pacific Focus.
I raised that issue. My meeting with Premier Wen was a constructive one, it was a cordial one, and it was forward-looking. The official response of the Chinese government is probably best taken from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs briefing material, the Chinese ministry, and you would see from that material that they talk about peace and security in the region. You know, my view is, and it strongly remains my view, that we can have an ally in Washington, a friend in Beijing. Our alliance with the United States is of long standing, 60 years old. It's not news to anyone, it's not news to China, and we've taken a rational step forward in defence cooperation with the United States.
And that's our challenge for our diplomats, isn't it, Jared? We've got to have the ally in the United States, but remain friends with China.
Yeah, well, that's a continuation of the Howard policy, and it'll work very well under John Howard, and it'll work well under Julia Gillard. The Chinese need us as much as we need the Chinese. They want to buy our minerals, and we want them to buy our minerals, and I don't think there's any great problem with China. John Howard was accused of being too close to the United States. It didn't affect our relationship with China. Julia Gillard may be being accused of being too close to the United States. It won't affect our relationship with China. And bear in mind, most of the nations in the region want the Americans here. And that's true of Indonesia, it's true of Vietnam, it's true of the Philippines, it's certainly true of Japan and South Korea. I mean, I can't think of any one nation in the region that doesn't want an American presence here, apart probably from China.
Is it true, though, that the Chinese ambassador was in India during the visit, and in fact they wanted to send a proxy, a deputy along, and they said that the invitation wasn't transferable, so there wasn't in fact a Chinese representative at the dinner.
No, that's right, or at the address to Parliament or whatever. Yeah, they wanted to send the charge to a fair, but they said no, ambassador or nothing. So, I'm not sure why.
Yeah, well, perhaps that didn't help. Now, here's Kevin Rudd's rather direct response to some of the criticism that was coming in from the Chinese about the announcements.
But let's just be very blunt about it. We are not going to have our national security policy dictated by any other external power. That's a sovereign matter for Australia. We don't seek to dictate to the Chinese what their national security policy should be, and therefore this must be advanced on the basis of mutual respect.
Is that fair enough?
I think it's entirely fair enough.